I want to play a clip. Very, very, very. This clip is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to play this clip because I think it's very important that everybody needs to see this. I think so.
Yeah, so one of the most striking findings of the study to us was that even if you take black and white boys raised in families at exactly the same income level, even at high income levels, you see that black boys end up with very different outcomes on average relative to white men. They're less likely to complete high school, they're less likely to go to college, they have significantly lower earnings in adulthood. And that phenomenon, interestingly, applies really only to black men. When we look at black versus white women, you see much more similarity in their outcomes if they grow up in families of similar income. So it's something unique to what's happening to black men in America that I think is really a concern for generations going forward in terms of perpetuating inequality by race.
And that inequality is really striking to me. One of the things that this study reports is that African-American men who will grow up in households with two parents that are earning $140,000, they fare about the same as a white young man who is raised by a single mother making just $60,000. How can that be true? Because it feels so counterintuitive. And what does that mean for African-American families and their futures?
Yeah, what you're getting at really is the finding that there's a great deal of downward mobility in black families. So you would have thought intuitively, that's what we expected going in, is when you get to a certain income level, maybe racial disparities disappear, that at some point kind of escape the poverty trap. But that really doesn't seem to be the case. Even once your parents reach a high income level, it continues to be the case that black men have higher odds of essentially ending up in the bottom of the income distribution than staying at the top of the income distribution. And that's why you get this pattern that black men's outcomes look comparable to white men growing up in relatively low or middle income families.
You mentioned in the study that there are unique obstacles that black men face. Are we, just to be clear, are we talking about racism and racial bias, or what are those unique obstacles that black men in particular face?
Yeah, so to try to get at that, we look at how this varies across different parts of the country. So look neighborhood by neighborhood and ask, are there some neighborhoods in America where you see small black-white gaps, or perhaps black men doing better than white men?
No.
And surprisingly, you find essentially no such areas. In 99% of neighborhoods in America, you see better outcomes for white men than black men. Now, digging in deeper, you can ask, where do we see relatively good outcomes for black men? And there are a couple of factors that pop out from that analysis. One, you see that areas with larger rates of father presence in homes among black men, you have better outcomes for black boys there. So if there are more two-parent families, particularly among African-American households, you see better outcomes for black boys. And second, you see that areas with lower levels of racial bias among whites tend to have better outcomes for black men. So those are a couple of the factors that I think could be associated.
Where you find that shit at?
But I think more remains to be understood in terms of
you don't find that shit everywhere.
Really sharp differences.
Gotcha. And I want to talk about the differences between black women and black men's
class matters.
All right, so
in America when it comes to
basically,
mobility for black males.
You know, this is a sad situation because when you have, I mean, come on, man. The agenda, my grandmother always had told me, it's only two people that's free in America. It's a black woman and a white man. The agenda has always been on black men. Now, some people always come with look how they do it, motherfucker, man. Because okay, the tone was set. When they made America, when they had the design, they did not have black people in mind. Straight up. What up to everybody? Hope everybody's good out there. And when they made this design, they didn't have black people in mind. Okay, so I say that to say this. No matter what system is going on, no matter what system is created, there always are loopholes where people will do, they're not gonna go along with the protocol of what's going on. There's some people that's gonna have their own mind and do what they wanna do. So when you do that, now you cannot graduate from high school and all of that. And it's people that's millionaires and billionaires that didn't graduate from high school. It's because they saw what the game was and went for it. So when they went for it, they succeeded. And this happens with black people, white people, Spanish people, or whatever. But the agenda, what we're talking about right now, is black men. And so the fact of where you'll have, they'll give them fun, they'll give Korean people and different people from different descents access to go open up a business in a Black neighborhood. You feel what I'm saying? It all starts from there. You know, the reason why I speak on this is because of the fact of these three men who we all are talking about on the internet. They are the exception to the rules. JAYZ, Kanye, and Diddy. So do you think, that's a bunch of racist ass white people out here. It's a bunch of them. Do you think that they want to see a Black man living his best life with millions and they don't have it? No, they don't want to see that. Do you think they want to see a Black man on television toasting it up, toasting bottles up, and putting drinks in the air talking about Black excellence? No, I don't think so. Okay, so that's the reason why this smear campaign and agenda is going on. I refuse to be one of the people to go along with the demise of something that we really don't even know what the fuck it is about. No real set in stone evidence has come out. It's all allegations. You don't think allegations are going to come from somewhere when you got a fucking hotline for people to call in and make allegations? Of course, this is going to go on. But it's bigger than just them. They just beat the odds to get to the money and be successful. But I'm talking about the initial, from the beginnings, from when you're young. You hear what the man was just saying. Basically, the agenda is out for Black men. Black women are free. Black women can do as they choose. And it's really not an agenda on them. But Black men, it's an agenda. And that's sad because it makes you feel like giving up. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that when people have a power over a certain other people, you feel what I'm saying? That shit is crazy. It don't feel right. As you start getting older and you sit down and you really start thinking and monopolizing and thinking like, okay, this shit is crazy. Like no matter what, I know a bunch of Black men that's smart and went to school and all that, and they still not where they want to be at. Then once you do surpass that part and you do like a JAYZ or a Kanye or something like that, look at how they talk. They'll tell you, look at some of the interviews, how they treat them. Okay, you got some money. They like, okay, nigga, you got some money? Yeah, it's going to be double luxury tax on everything that you get. Your houses, everything. Your cars, we're going to make sure we're going to doubly tax you. It's going to cost you. You feel what I'm saying? They say it themselves, the masterpiece, all of them. Even though they may have money, they think that, okay, well, I'm successful now. I did my shit legit. You can't call me a drug dealer, how I got my money or nothing. My shit is straight legit. And you get around these people and they say they still try to treat you like a nigga. No matter if you got money or not, they still try to treat you as such. They can't treat you as much as such, but they still try to give you that shade, like, okay, you got some money. They mad because you got some money and you up there with them and you on a boat. You got your own money for your boat and all that type of shit. But what I think it is that it's so bad how us Blacks treat each other to where once one of us does get it, it's like you want to help, but then you get burnt. You keep getting burnt. Then I'm like, fuck it, I'm not doing nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? But I honestly think that it's enough Black people in the world who have a certain dollar amount to where we should have our own supermarkets. We should have our own. And we did have our own. But the white people came in and burnt it down and fucked it all off and was jealous of it and burnt it down. There's documented facts of these things. You know what I'm saying? They need to just go ahead and just open up the floodgates. If they can open up the floodgates for gay people, they should open up the floodgates for Black people. Am I saying something out of pocket? No. And I want to make another statement. I want to say something else too. Just because you are pro-Black doesn't mean that you are anti-white. That doesn't mean that. Everybody knows within the people, you have to get yourselves together in order to move forward. You know what I'm saying? It's like the game is all fucked up. It is. It's all fucked up to have an agenda for a certain people. Chinese people have a Chinese president. Russian people got a Russian president. African people got their own African. They talk about go back to Africa. Real Africans don't like us. They don't like Black people, and we don't like them either. You know what I'm saying? So the difference is the type of shit I'm talking about is when you go and you have an application, you go fill out an application for a job. What difference does it make what race you are? Why did they put on there, what race are you? What difference does it make? As they should put that, they should also put, are you a racist? Yes or no? So we can figure out who we dealing with. Just like when they put the races down there, are you black, or you white, or you Latino? Blah, blah. What difference does it make? But when you do, well, if it doesn't mean anything, then why put that on there? So as well as they put that on there so they can see who they dealing with, they should also put, are you a racist? So they can see what they dealing with also. What do I think about a 19-year-old with OnlyFans making more than your entire family? How do you know how much my family is making, number one? And number two, did you use your brain? Did you use your brain to get the money? Or you just showing titties and ass? No matter how you got it, I ain't mad. Get it how you live or whatever. But to get on here and say that you have an OnlyFans page and you making more money than my entire family, how do you know how much my family is making? Right. You know, I don't, like I said, I don't talk down about anybody's whatever they got going on. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like the agenda is on black men and the black men who got money. That's not going with the protocol and the agenda of what's going on. You feel me? I don't know, man. They put a black eye in the game to me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the fact of, instead of spending their money on parties and bitches and all this old type of craziness, I feel like people should be woke up. You know what I'm saying? In the agenda, especially if the agenda is on black men to not succeed. You know what I mean? Look what the people just said. Like, no matter if your household when you were young, white and black, if both of them started off with the same amount of money growing up, they say no matter what, the black boy going into a black man is going to still be lower. It's like it's so outrageous. I feel like if you have white friends, if you really have real white friends that is not with the bullshit and y'all really genuinely friends, then do something about it. You feel what I'm saying? If you really love these black people that's in your life, because that's another agenda. That's another thing that's fucked up. Is the fact of, you know, people don't really care about it until somebody is dating interracial and has some kids from it. Now all of a sudden they scared because of the fact of their blood is out there. You know what I'm saying? At first I've seen how many people, white people that I've seen that was racist as shit, and then their children that don't feel have the same views, and then they date outside their race and then have some children. And those same people that was racist as shit, they have their horizons are broadened because of the fact of they looking at that child's face and they see them, even though that child may be interracial and have black in them. So all of a sudden they switch up and change, which is a good thing. I love that. I love to see people. That's what America is supposed to be about, of everybody on the board, every race, creed, color, no matter what, is all getting together and everybody's intertwining and getting to it. I feel like America has not even reached its potential yet until everybody gets what they're supposed to get and deserve. That's when America is going to be America. You don't think that these countries overseas look and see the divides and all that type of shit? That's why they come in trying to hit us, because we looking weak. When everybody's standing together, no matter what, Chinese, Asian, no matter black, whatever the color is, if everybody's on the same accord, then you can't fuck with us. But if you out there looking divided, they be saying, the ISIS and them people over there, they be saying, black man, why are you fighting in this war? This ain't your war. I'm just saying, man. It's coming from a black person. I don't have a racist bone in my body. My mama I had white stepfathers. My mother dated out of her race. You feel me? So I don't, you know, the only black black kid living in Canoga Park at the time. White kids next door writing all on the cement. Nigger, go home. You know how much I've heard that shit in my life. When I lived in Reno, Nevada, let me tell you something. When I lived in Reno, Nevada, my mother moved to Reno, Nevada, and I was 8 years old. A white man told me, do you know what Reno stands for? You know what the letters in Reno stand for? It stands for run every nigger out of town. I'm like, I'm 8. I'm 8. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying the world they get their shit together. We used to have snowball fights, and because I was black, I was the only kid out there. They was putting rocks in their snowballs. I had a white friend, my white friend, Chris. All the rest of the kids was being hella racist. That they was lining all the white kids up so I could squad with them. I was squad like 10 kids, beep, 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 knocking them all out. So to where then I looked over at my homeboy Chris, the white boy. I looked over. I was like, and what's up with you? What's up with you? Everybody else is calling me a nigga for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What, you trying to be on some funny shit? Trying to be cool with me? So I was like, why you ain't on that? And so he looked over at me. He was like, because I'm not on that. So I was on him. I'm like, what, you trying to be on some funny shit? I ain't seen him since then. We was kids. I wish I could see him again to see what people up to. When you see white people that ain't on no racist shit and they be on some cool shit, it's like a breath of fresh air. When you be seeing them with that bigotry and that fuck shit, it makes you depressed. It makes you feel like we're being held hostage because they say go back to Africa and real Africans don't like us and we don't like Africans. And we wear deodorant. I'm just saying. I'm gonna get off of it, but at the same time, I want everybody that's asleep to be woke. The agenda and the hunt is out for us. Trust and believe that. They've been out for us. But guess what? White people need us. That's all they think about is black people. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that. Because we bring a bunch of money to this bitch. Trillions of dollars every year. It's a slap in the face when they don't want to give us our reparations, knowing how much money they make from the NBA and the NFL and music alone. Trillions of dollars. They don't want to give a motherfucker a bone. And fuck it, then it's on. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Y'all hit that like button. I ain't on this motherfucker to get some likes and all that type of shit. If it's gonna go up, go all the way up. If you feel the same way that I feel, even if you don't, if you just feel like on some peace shit and everybody getting together and seeing the real agenda, what we supposed to be doing, instead of what's really going on. Start the loving and start the hating. Floss mode. Gone.